We're on. Guess what? This is Pop Up D. You know what? You probably don't know me anyway, so it doesn't make any difference if I'm Pop Up D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, right? But anyway, I'm going to do this again. It's been about 2 months, and I know all my words of wisdom. That's full. And some people actually listen to me because I know that somebody told me they heard me. So I'm going to. There's a big shout out, a huge shout out to a gentleman by the name of Michael, and his name is T. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's Mr. Atlantic City, and he said I actually enjoy your talks. I don't know why, but he did, and that made me feel good. I felt good at least a couple of minutes anyway. But it's so good. Thanks, Michael. You're fantastic. And you are a wonderful guy and you have a wonderful family. But I do want to tell you, uh, since the last time, I showed you some things about hats. So I got a couple. How do you like this one? $3.46 at Amazon. I couldn't pass it up. I figured I don't go to England, I don't go to London, I don't play golf or cricket or anything, but I thought the hat looked great. What do you think? You like it? That's one of my hats. I got a couple more. I want to just introduce you to these guys. This is a new, look at this. It's a Honda hat. A Honda hat. Now, this hat, I leased a Honda in June, and I think I drove a couple hundred miles, and all of a sudden, the engine light went on, and it said that there's something wrong with my emissions. The car was letting out gas, and it didn't even need any spaghetti and meatballs. It was letting out some sort of gas. So I went to Honda, and they tried to fix it. They couldn't fix it. They left the car in, and they gave me a car to use, and they couldn't find the reason for it. So finally, they said, "Oh, it's fixed," and I went back, and they gave me a hat. They said, "Look, for your trouble, you have a hat." So that was not all. I mean, they even gave me 2 free oil jobs, and that's fantastic. I got to live long enough. I got to live long enough to get my 2 free oil jobs. I mean, you know that. And that's the story of Honda. But guess what? I got another hat. Seacoast. Now, how do you like the way that fits? That fits the way the bill that I saw once they put an air conditioner on in. My son, who's disabled, his air conditioner was gone. And Seacoast is a wonderful company in south of Vero Beach in Florida. Great people, really nice people. And they put a good unit in my son's house. I had to help him because he's not able to do these things. So they gave me a bill for $5,000, almost $6,000, and a hat. Now I wouldn't have this hat if it wasn't for his air conditioning going down. But now it's great. Even my granddaughter, Angela, I won't tell you her name, but Angela said, "It's cool. I'm really feeling good now when I go to bed, whenever I'm home." She's not always home. But that's a story of these hats. So I want to go back to my original hat, my UCLA hat that I'm wearing. And what is this hat? Did I miss a hat?
Didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Guess what? I have T-Mobile. T-Mobile, every Tuesday, they give away free things. And a couple of weeks ago, they gave you this crummy hat. I mean, it's a great hat. Not this crummy hat, but it's a good hat. It was free. What do you expect? So that's 4 hats. Aren't you lucky? And now I'm wearing my UCLA hat. And there was a few things that happened to me in the past couple of months that if I'm not boring you yet, I will. Just, be sure that I'm going to bore you. So if you want to cut me off, you can, but you're going to miss something, okay? My granddaughter, we were going to celebrate, my wife and I, our 70th wedding anniversary in August and her 90th birthday in August. And so she wanted to go to California to meet her new 16th great granddaughter. That was fantastic. I couldn't make the trip because I'm old and senile. And so for 2 weeks, I was alone. And the story is I'm supposed to meet her in Philadelphia on August 1st, right? Right before the birthday and all the other nonsense. Great things that were going to happen. The children were going to set up a nice party for both of us. So on January 30th, not January.
July.
Here, Angela just said something. She said July. You're in it, Ange.
No.
When did this happen? July 31st?
Just about.
Don't shake your head. Say something.
Yes.
Good.
So what happened in July?
In July, I had a doctor's appointment. I was getting ready to go the next day. And I kid a lot with this very nice doctor. Her initials are SM with the DR at the end. She's a medical doctor. And I was kidding. And, you know, with all the things, I was alone for 2 weeks and I was getting a little depressed because I'm usually not away from my wife or other people that long. So, kiddingly, I said, you know the way I feel? Sometimes I feel like I'm going to jump out a window. And she immediately got on her computer. She says, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to Baker Act you. I said, what are you talking about? I'm calling the police right now, and you have to go to the hospital. They're going to cart you to the hospital because you said you're going to jump out a window. I said, I'm kidding. Our window is only 3.5 feet from the ground. If I jump out the window, I'm going to hit a bush. I'm not going to hurt myself. Are you kidding me? And 15 minutes later, she was very, very serious. And I could understand why, because somebody had committed suicide. One of her patients that said the same thing, similar, and did commit suicide. It wasn't a joke. For her, it was real. So she's filling out the forms to Baker Act me to go into the hospital for 72 hours and be evaluated or whatever. And these policemen come in. They're members of the SWAT team. And they come in with vests, guns. And I'm saying, what's going on? Well, you're going to the hospital. You're going to see a psychiatrist. I said, you got to be kidding. I'm kidding with this lady. And they talked to me and they evaluated me. And first they agreed with her, but then they knew that I just BS a little bit. I'm sorry, but that's my nature. And
he's a jokester. You're a jokester. It was clearly a joke, but it wasn't taken that way.
Right. See, Angela knows because I'm always kidding.
And that was a couple days before he was supposed to get on that flight.
One day.
One day before.
Yeah, the next day I'm going to Philadelphia to meet my wife after 2 weeks.
So you almost missed your flight because you had to make a joke.
So
in front of the
remember,
office.
everybody, don't make a joke. When you go to the doctors, just tell the doctor what's wrong with you. You know, if you got gas, tell them you got gas. Don't say you want to jump out of a car or jump out a window or anything stupid like that, unless you really, really mean it. So anyway, after 1 hour of being evaluated by the police, they finally convinced the doctor not to submit the papers. So the doctor came in and says, I'm going to let you go. And that was, she hugged me, she kissed me, and says, we care for you. And I said, I care for you too, but I got out of there pretty fast. I didn't want anybody to change their mind. But that was a good story, I think. Don't you think? It's a true story. And other things happened. We came home a week or so. When we got home, I couldn't wait to go to our arcade. You know where I like to gamble my 10 and 15 cents. Well, I got out of the car. I opened the door. I went to go get my pillow because my butt, you know, there's a lot of bone over there when you get old. You know, you lose all that muscle mass and stuff. So I went to get my pillow and I'm taking it out of the car. And the door, for some reason, decided to close on my jaw. and I thought I got hit by Mike Tyson. Holy moly, Andy. I had the bruise. It doesn't show anymore, but this whole side was bruised all over here. And
Oh.
that was wonderful. That was a good part of that night. And then we had all this nonsense. It wasn't nonsense. I mean, the weathermen were trying to do the best they can with the hurricane Dorian that was, supposed to come in right in the central part, at the coastline of Florida. And they did it for days, and it hit category 5. And everybody is literally, they had to buy extra toilet paper, if you get my drift. My drift. It ain't the gift, it's the drift. I'm old, so I don't know the deal. Anyway, everybody, I was so stressed out. It was such a mess, really. And these guys come on television. I think all the meteorologists have to learn how to hold on to their hat. They have to learn how to sway in the wind. Even if it's only a 10-mile wind, they got to go, ooh, oh, whoa, it's raining over here. Look at this puddle. Anyway, they have to go part of the actor's studio. They belong to all that nonsense. And it scares everybody. I know I was frightened. So, lo and behold, it was nothing but a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind. And that was the end of that story. Why do these people scare the hell out of us? I just don't understand that. So, Angela, what else happened?
Well, you had a couple other mishaps. One
Like?
that landed you in the hospital.
Yeah, I did go to the hospital. I had diverticulitis. And the guy puts me in a hospital for observation, and they just filled me up with all kinds of antibiotics and let me go home. And they did find a little growth in my hip. And then I had to go to a doctor and get that cut out. Now, you don't want to hear all about this, right? Let's end this on a nice note. Can we end it on a nice note?
Of course.
Like what?
Life is good.
Yeah, life is great. And I'll tell you something. Today was good. We wanted to get hoagies. You ever hear of Publix? Publix is, if you're up north, there's like Acme. And there's a lot of different places. It's a very, very nice retail store for food and such. It's a big store. It's a big chain. Well, they sell one of the really good hoagies. Good hoagies. Or submarine sandwiches or heroes. I don't know what you call them. So my mother and my granddaughter, Angela, who's holding the phone. And
Your wife and granddaughter.
What did I say?
Your mother.
Oh my God, was that a Freudian slip?
Your wife? Yeah.
Well, she is 90 years old. Right?
Just recently.
So they go to the store, they go to get the Publix, they come back. My granddaughter comes back with a sandwich she doesn't even want. She's got bread that she doesn't even want. And I looked at the sandwich. I told my wife, let's get ham, turkey, and cheese. She comes back with a sandwich. She thought the guy made it in the Depression time. There was a bunch of salad in it. A little bit of turkey, a little bit of cheese, no ham. And these were $8. $8. So I said, we're going back. You don't like your sandwich. There's not enough in this sandwich. You didn't even get it. So we did. We went back to Publix. And
But I was too embarrassed to go in.
Yeah, Angela was kind of shy to do that. She's a young girl. She doesn't know that you have a right to get what you pay for. And if you don't like what they serve you, you have a right to tell people, hey, I particularly don't care for this. Would you change it or give me a different one or something? You are paying apps, aren't you? Right? It's your money and your decision whether you want to accept what they throw in front of your face. Anyway, what happened? We did go back and we got 2 great sandwiches. 2 great sandwiches. So we're very happy with Publix. And
But in the middle of making that sandwich, you forgot what I wanted on my sandwich.
I did.
And you didn't have your phone with me, to call me. I was sitting in the car.
Yeah, how about that? She's sitting in a car. I'm an old man, and I have to go bring the sandwiches back in, and I have to return them, and I had to do everything. And I come out, and I'm screaming, "What do you want in your sandwich?" And she's in the car, this young girl, and I could just about walk. How about that?
And he's screaming, "What do you want? Lettuce? Lettuce!" He's screaming. He can barely walk. He's like hung up on something. I had to get out of the car right away because that was so crazy. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I
Yeah.
did that."
But it worked out. We got the two best sandwiches. We got what we wanted. And to top it off, which I didn't know, if you bring back something that didn't turn out right, Publix gives you, they make sure it's right, okay, whatever you want it, and then they give you the money back. You get it free, and I didn't know that. I got to see what else I didn't like. I have to remember. Anyway, that worked out, and that was tonight. So I just wanted to get back to you guys. And if anybody's really listening to this, I'm sorry.
Well, that was
So,
good.
be happy. Remember, hate is a four-letter word. So is love. Let's take love. Love is much better. It's a much better virtue than hate. I think everybody agrees with that, right? Let's love each other. But don't get too personal when you're loving each other, okay? Because somebody might be a little stronger than you. So be careful. Just love, love, love. No hate. So until next time, this is Pop Up D. Love you guys. Love yous. Hope you'll enjoy this.